It's that time of the year where I shine a light on all of the films that I found quite overlooked. It's hard to draw a line to determine what films are overlooked and under-discussed, so you can see this video this way. It is a video to celebrate a lot of the films that I thought was enjoyable, worth watching, or interesting. They don't need to be masterpieces, and I don't even have to personally like them, but as long as I think there's something interesting there, I always want to put more films under people's radar. So this is it for all of those from 2020. Buffaloed, a full package of a movie that expresses high energy and punchy humor. Never, Rarely, Sometimes, Always, one of my favorites of the year and one of the best directed films of the year as well. Swallow, an incredibly difficult watch for me and for many others, I believe. The Assistant, a daring, passive, and quiet film that feels more like a docudrama. The Willoughbys has beautiful colors and the way it shifts tones throughout worked really well, I thought. Vivarium, a bottle thriller that's right up my alley with simple but quite unsettling design. Assassin, a documentary about the assassination of Kim Jong-nam. The story is one of the craziest I've ever heard. 14, in which the camera worked as a fly on the wall as we follow a friendship that spans over years. La Llorona, a horror film that doesn't quite follow genre tropes and instead it points its subject at political turmoil. One Night in Miami, also one of the best directed films of the year. If you like a play adapted film, this one cannot be missed. Spontaneous has such an explosive concept, but underneath there's a beautiful emotion seeping through too. Summerland, one of the few feel-good movies of the year, very charming. I had a fun time with this one. Synchronic has a killer concept. With a bigger budget, this might be blown to a full scale. The Bloodhound utilized what they had the best they could. If you're into these low-budget, weird, psychological thrillers every year, check this one out. The Climb covers a quite toxic friendship between two people that spans over years. The film likes to play catch up with the audience a lot. The 40-Year-Old Version, a lighthearted comedy that I found delightful with its deadpan jokes and beats and pauses. Totally Under Control tells you what exactly went wrong in the beginning of 2020. I think it's an important piece of information that you should watch, especially if you live in the States. White Lie has an ending that denies the audience in a very brutal way because the message sent is loud and clear. The Gentleman, Guy Ritchie is back with his witty characters and snappy editing. This one also has a lot of layer of meta-ness to it. The Lodge, from the filmmakers who did Goodnight Mommy, incredibly shot. The tone is so cold and the ending is definitely a take it or leave it deal. Underwater, bet you forgot about this movie, a surprisingly not bad movie that came out in January. Horse Girl, one of the weirdest films of the year, but I guess the conversation fizzled out real quick. The Platform, a Spanish bottle thriller that has a lot to say politically. For what it's worth, I think it's not too bad. The Way Back, Ben Affleck was really good in this one. It's definitely a crowd pleaser, but it's pretty good. 12-Hour Shift, a deadpan little movie that plays off how boring everything seems to be in the most explosive way. 7500, another bottle thriller that reached a level of naturalism very successfully. And American Pickle, a movie so absurd I cannot help but keep watching until the very end. Another Round, a film that's very much interested in characters' morals and values taking the form of a blend between a lighthearted comedy and a drama. Ask No Question is a documentary that covers a topic that hit way closer to home literally than I was anticipating. The Other Lamb has incredible cinematography. Gretel and Hansel has incredible cinematography. Babyteeth is a confident debut that manages to put a fresh spin on potential cliches. The execution of the ending was really good. Bad Education is just a really well put together film dealing with true crime, directed like a film noir. Bloody Nose Empty Pockets blends narrative and documentary filmmaking so seamlessly that if you're into this kind of kickback, hangout movie, you can look into this one. Beast Clawing at Straws, a thriller that intertwines many different storylines in a non-linear fashion that keeps you guessing until the very end. Blackbeard, Aubrey Plaza's best performance today. It is a film that can spark infinite amount of interpretation. Deerskin, a film so offbeat and odd that you keep questioning your own sanity for watching it. The ending was pretty funny. Driveways, a slice of life film told through the lens of a single child. First Cow, probably the most patient film I've seen since 2019. Freaky, forget about the first act and have fun with this one. Vince Vaughn is very big and funny in this. Get Duped, another very funny movie about a very powerful fork. His House has some pretty innovative imagery that deals with the politics and immigration. I Used to Go Here, a lighthearted film that I enjoy watching, kicking back. It has some really good quotes and story here that I think many artists can relate. If Anything Happens, I Love You, the scariest film I've seen in 2020, is a short film on Netflix. Go give it a watch when you have a little downtime. I'm Your Woman, a movie I loved but still struggle to figure out why exactly. Kajillionaire, an incredibly designed film that tells you that you too deserve love like everyone else. Love and Monsters, a movie that really surprised me by how not bad it is. Every character is likable and I love the journey and story world. My Rainey's Black Bottom has the best performance of the year by Chadwick Boseman. Please do not step on his shoes. Marona's Fantastic Tale, my favorite animated film of the year that shines a light on human condition through the lens of a dog. My Octopus Teacher, the story isn't really there, but the shots here are just gorgeous. Watch Greyhound if you're looking for an action-packed war film with zero to none character development. I thought it was a lot of fun for what it is. Phineas and Ferb, the movie Candace against the universe, not as good as the first one, but I enjoyed it almost just as much. Fun musical numbers too. Possessor, my favorite horror of the year, is not an easy film to watch because it is very brutal, but it has something to say about free will in a technological dominant world. Relic ran like a pretty generic horror until the third act, and the ending hit you with a home run. Run, the follow-up of Searching, the filmmakers continue to show their impeccable ability to hide and reveal mysteries. She Dies Tomorrow, one of the more interesting one from 2020 with its fluidity in time and space. It's like another filmmaker's vision for I'm Thinking of Ending Things. Shithouse, a film that surprised me in the second half. It brutally and honestly captured a specific period of your life. Spree tells you the repercussion of cloud chasing online, but it's also really interesting that you don't know if what you're watching is real or not. Tesla, a different beat for a biopic that breaks the fourth wall and deconstructs its own story world from time to time. Incredibly shot. I really like how the Burnt Orange Heresy tackled the dynamic between artists, audience, and the critics. The Dark and the Wicked, a horror film that won me over on my first viewing, and that's enough for me to recommend it to you. The Kid Detective, a deadpan neo-noir from 2020 that no one talked about. Definitely catch this one, it stood out. The Last Shift, another slice of life movie that follows a 60-year-old man who never grew up. The War with Grandpa was a good watch in your downtime. That is, the best part of it is that the filmmakers seem to have had a lot of fun making it, and that's all that matters. The Vast of Night, a low-budget sci-fi that stretches itself to the max. It has probably one of the top 3 tracking shots of the entire year. The Wolf of Snow Hollow, an over-the-top werewolf movie that treats its character like objects on purpose, and it has its moment. To the Stars, a film that almost made my honorable mentions of the year. Great cinematography, very touching story. Uncle Frank had a buttload of potential, but for what we got, I think it's still a good watch. Vampires vs. the Bronx, a movie that had its way to talk about political subject and not come off preachy at all. And Wolfwalkers, one of the best animated films of the year, incredibly detailed and well designed. Do not miss this one, I'm telling you. And that's everything I think deserve the extra spotlight from 2020. I hope you can put them under your radar if you're interested, and let me know how it goes. See you in the next video. Bye.